North Carolina is an interesting state, right? President Trump won by about 3% back in 2024, but there is now a Democrat governor who was just sworn in, Governor Josh Stein. So I want to talk about how North Carolina voters feel about each. First, start about President Trump. What's his approval rating in North Carolina?
And Trump is just about split here, 46% approve versus 44% disapprove. You look at independents, and it's a little bit more stark, though, 47% versus 33% who disapprove. Looking at Stein, 41% approve, 25% disapprove, and then about 35% don't have an opinion. But that is a really high number for him. He's got nearly a 20-point lead as far as approval. And among independents, we see 36% approve, 18% disapprove. So the Democratic brand is certainly not toxic in North Carolina. There are Democrats who have been elected statewide, who hold office statewide, and right now they have a positive approval rating.
And that's especially good news if you're Roy Cooper running for the Senate. Someone who is not running for re-election is Senator Tom Tillis. He's a two-term North Carolina Republican. That was supposed to be a really tight race. What is his approval rating there? Does North Carolina like him?
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate for Tillis here. He's at 30% versus 43% who have a negative view of him. That's 41% negative among Republicans versus 35%, 43% negative among independents. So, unfortunately for Tillis, this is a case where he really made nobody happy. I think it would have been a real uphill battle fighting for re-election here. And so he's going to be leaving office with a low number, but it looks like he made the right decision.
And like you and I have talked about for really the past over a year now, the top issue facing voters heading into the 2024 election was the economy. And North Carolina was one of the battleground states. Actually, all of the battleground states in 2024 ultimately went to Trump, but that state was red in 2024. And the economy continues to be the top issue facing voters. How do voters in North Carolina feel about their financial situation now?
You're right, Brittany. It has been an issue. It continues to be an issue. 38% of North Carolinians say that the economy is their top issue, followed by immigration, threats to democracy at 19%, which we've seen a trend of both nationally and individually in some of these states, and then immigration and healthcare both at 10%. Drilling down a little bit and looking at folks' personal finances, we see that 40% say that their finances are worse now than they were a year ago. 28% say that they're better off. And then 32% say that it's about the same as a year ago. Voters over 60 are most positive here. Republicans are also more positive by about 12 points. As you'd expect, this is partisan. Democrats say that they are overall worse off than they were a year ago. And then independents also say that they're worse off by about 20 points.